Hello everyone, I'm Henry from MtColor International Business Department. So today we will talk about something about the color management. The color management is the core technology with the MtColor software of the RIP software and the RIP industry. So I will give every details about the processing of the color management. So first, I will give you a list of software which lead to do the ICC generation. So the first one is the original driver. This type of printer is Canon 520. So with the help of our R&D department, we can develop all kinds of original drivers to deal with all kinds of the printers. Not only the international brands such as Canon, Epson, Mimark, or Muto, but also almost old brands Chinese advertising device such as WeColor or Win or Zenon or something like that. So this is original driver, and this one we just call it I1 profiler. It's a third-party tools to do some scannings. And the third is DTP 0.6.0. DTP 6.0 is the newest one of our DTP. And the fourth is the MtColor V6. This version number is V6. With the help of this software, we can do MtColor ICC generation. So first, I will open MtColor software. We can check function of these letters. So with the help, when you open the help and check letter like this. So this is just for some stand for some functions, such as A stands for Adobe Illustrator. So we usually have two kinds of files opening. So first, we can directly open a file. The MtColor file is with the ending of TPF. So something just like this. At the same time, we can load input some pictures. And this is just to picture size and to load on it. So this first one is one channel output checking. We just print it and check it. So first we will say something about the printer setup. We just set up the Canon 520. Just note the original driver here and set as default printer. OK. And check the printer's property like this. And check the ports and the size. When we press the OK, it began to print some material, and this is a process of RIP. So it automatically generates an icon here. It's just to transfer some dates to the MON. MON is the job management of printing. So we can also check points, and we can set some points just like this. You can add on other points here in this list. So when you check the points, it's like this, like the green, like the color of the green. So that means it's in a right situation, it's in good situation. So we can print it and check it. At the time, we just open the MtColor V6. And also note the same original driver here and load it. So I will tell you something about this interface, and this is the name of the printer. It's Canon Pro 520. And dot type, we have two kinds of dot type here. So the first is recommend and the other is traditional. So we always choose recommended 0 as the first choice. Recommended 0, it can cover all kinds of the pattern waves, so we just call it with greatest, biggest compatibilities of all kinds of dot ratio. If something is not suitable for your printing and the recommended 0, you can choose the traditional. So I just tell you something just one by one. So the resolution we set as variable 1200 dpi, and you can choose the other kinds of dpi and add it just like this. And to input the horizontal and the vertical dpi. So the ink channel, we just choose the CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black, the 4 channel, and sometimes you can add some 6 channel here for some light magenta or light cyan here. And channel number is 4, it's just for CMYK. Sometimes you just choose the 6, so this has the additional light cyan, light magenta. And this paper, okay, this paper's name, we can add it like this. So the first is the media, about is the PP, and the second is the variable 1200 dpi is the precision, and A pass is just for the pass number, and die is just for the ink type. So this is the name of the paper, is also the name of the ICC file. So just put this and copy it in Chinese name. This is just for the Chinese users, so don't care about it. Just OK. You can add more. You can add it one by one. The dot number is we just choose 3, set it as default. Dot 3 is just for the biggest, and the medium and small. So 3 kinds of modes dotting. So the first step is the printer linearization, and we just check the recommended 0 to adjust dot ratio here. All of these set as default, don't change it. So this is first the choice of dot type, and we can choose the traditional dot to to making other kinds of dot ratio. So sometimes the recommended 0 is not suitable for you. You can choose the traditional dot ratio. So we give the other kinds of choice to enter the advanced setting. So we have the other kind of choice, like this, the full custom curve. So when you choose the one, that means the wave pattern has changed. So this one, we totally have this 1, 2, 3, 6 charts here. So this time I just set the recommended 0, for example. Okay, so this is linearization is nth mode of recommended 0. So let's back to our printings. It's just like this. So we have some blocks like this, and each one has 5 value difference between each other. So we check which one is the best outcome. So this is the ink condensity checking. So maybe the first one I just choose the black. I just choose the 85. I think 85 is enough. And the second also maybe 85 is perfect. And magenta maybe 80. And yellow also 80. 80 is enough. So of this, we go to next step to print these charts and scan these. You can just follow my step to find this file. This is linear for I1, so we just print it. And each time you can check the ports and the sides. So we can check it in the MON and print it. So after printing the linear for I1, we just check these charts and scan it with the help of the I1 profiler and this I1 device. So we can scan it and check results. So first we can connect the device like this. Connect the I1 to the USB ports and calibrate. Calibrate is okay, and then exit. So begin scanning. So after scanning, so we can go to the next step, to check the first linearization. So something is just like this. Maybe this is not perfect, so we must do this again, linearization again. and scan it just line by line. Print it and scan it again, just for the optimization of linearization. So we just go to next step. So we just check the results of a linearization again. So maybe this curve is just like a line, so we think it's okay and go to the next. That means the linearization again we finished. Just go to the multi-ink limited, multi-channel condensed ink checking. So we just print art charts and check it. Multi-channel ink condensed ink checking, and also just to picture size and print it. So after printing, multi-channel limited, so we can give it its results. This chart just for checking, not to scan. So from K1 to K3, I just choose maybe the 95 is perfect. And from K4 to K6, maybe 90 is perfect. And from K7 to K9, I just choose the 90. So just pay attention to this. From K1 to K3 is always bigger than from K4 to K6, and also is bigger than K7 to K9. Is a direction of linearization. So the last one, the K10, from K10 to K12, is the independence charts, independence black block charts. So we just input negatives. From K1 to K3 is always it's the same, line 5. And the second, K4 to K6, lighting is enough. And K7 to K9 also lighting. We just check the condensity of the ink output. So the last one, the K10, I just choose the 85 as a first, and K11 maybe 85, and the last one is something. So after remodification of this setting, we can go to the next step after automatic gray balance. So this is always for some scanning, and print again and scan. Always adjust to picture size and print again. So after scanning, so we just go to next step. And these charts, we have three phases in the color gamut. So the night, middle, and dark. So each one we just cut the yellow 3 points, just like this. This -2, and middle is also. And this is cut down less than 10. So go to the next step. That means the linearization is finished. So I just take some points like this. And this tangle, we just call it the advanced ones. So with the help of these advanced ones, we can do the ICC generation through MtColor. And maybe you have got the basic ones. Basic ones is just for printing. And in DTP, and DTP's printer setup, we always has this hashtag as beginning. So that means this is the mental printer with the hashtag. So we just go to next step. We have some curve patterns, and we also can bring you some charts like this, the curve 1 and curve 2. And curve 1, maybe this one has the bigger contrast, and this is also has a bigger contrast, curve 2. So maybe this is not about printing, it's just about the styles, printing styles. So this time I just choose the first one, constant. Also, we can save it. Save it as a CMA file, this one. the CM file is a temporary file of ICC generation. So this is the first step of linearization. Maybe the ICC generation will take a long time, so we can save as a CMA file just for some seconds, for some, maybe sometimes you just do it again, and maybe it's hard to do it all from the very beginning, so you just from the temporary files. So the next we just to shut down the MtColor and to go to the next step. This is the third party's ICC generation. We open the I1 profiler. And this software is just from X-Flights. So, okay, this is just for a Chinese interface, so maybe just in the Chinese environment. So I give you the details of the translation of the Chinese words, and this one is just for the advanced ones, advanced choice option, and to find the CMYK printer and to find this color measurements. So we just find these blocks, these color blocks, ITA 7-3. So we just next step of this just set as default. So we choose the size of A2. This size is suitable for scanning, and save it as a picture. We just save it and also print it in MinTop.ddp. Also adjust to picture size. So before scanning these charts, we can print the standard charts for the checking of the linearization. We just print this TPF. So before loading the ICM file from the I1 profiling, we just print this standard chart for the checking of the linearization. So from these charts, we can find the strip gradients, just like this, at the bottom. So we also can check the spherical gradients, just like this. I think this one is perfect, so we can go to the next step and load the ICM file through the I1 profile. Okay, now back to these charts and scan it. We just select the mono scanning. And calibrate it. Okay, so let's begin with this scanning and just one by one. So after scanning, we go to next step of this the standard source line source. Just set it as default. So go to next step. So in this interface, the blank beginning value is 30, so we just set it as 40. And this one, per section, we just choose the colorful. And then go to the next interface. And this is file name and this is folder. We just note it as this one. Okay, to create the ICM file. And it always take several minutes. Okay, up to generate the ICM files, we can get these dimensional color gamuts just like this. So we just finish the ICM setting in the I1 profiling. So we just shut down it and go back to the MtColor profile, MtColor. And load again. So this file includes the ICM file and load it. This is just for the final step after convert ICC to the main top MCM. So in this interface, I will tell you something about this. So this conversion settings, the CMYK ICC, we just choose the Epson wide CMYK version 2, and the RGB ICC, we just choose the Adobe RGB 1998 ICC. So the intent just select this perceptual, and the print ICC we just load the ICM file. Load the ICM. So before generation, we can adjust like this. As you know, the main top column engine is always a little bigger in yellow outputs, so we just cut down a little, 3 points, and to generate it. So in this interface, that means we just finished the ICC generation. The main top ICC generation is finished, so we just to print something for final check. This is a standard chart. I also adjust to picture size and print it. And send it to printer. So let me check the final results. After printing this graph, so we can get some results of the pure color blocks and some spherical gradients. So we can check it one by one. I think it's perfect, so we just finished the ICC generation today. And we will back to the original driver here and check some files. So this is CMA is temporary files of the linearization. Is the first step. So the ICM file is just for the I1 profiling scanning. So this with the third-party third-party tools, we can get the ICM file. So the final result just converts the ICM to the MCM. And MCM is a main top ICC file. So this is the final result of the MCM file. So we just check this 1, 2, and 3 files in these drivers. So in final step, I just to load the CMA files. We can how to use this kind of file. This is temporary file. I just load it. Okay, next. So we can open the CMA file in this interface and not save it now, so no, and OK to to note this file here. So you can check records after linearization. So you can check the records of something you have done before. So it's probably we will end our training class today. So maybe you have got some problems, you can contact with me. That's the whole processing of our ICC generation. So see you. Bye bye.